We're spoiled for choice when it comes to handheld gaming PCs. We have our Steam Decks, our ROG Allies, our Legion Go's, and a host of smaller manufacturers. And then there's MSI and its Claw. It's been dragged through the mud over the past 3 months for subpar performance at a price of about $800. But there's been several updates now that are supposed to help the Claw crawl its way into users' good graces. And yet, there's absolutely no reason to buy a Claw. At least, not this version. Is it better than it was at launch? Yes, certainly. Is it better than most other major handhelds out there? No, not at all. For being one of the most expensive of the bunch, it's easily the most uncomfortable, even with a modest performance boost. This thing doesn't really feel like a $750 or $800 device. While it looks way too much like an Ally, its ergonomics make it hard to hold onto for a long time. That's pretty ironic considering the name, but its joysticks and bumper buttons are especially thin and cheap feeling, despite the sticks being Hall effect, which is supposed to make them last longer. Since release, MSI also unveiled a new Overboost mode that's supposed to push the power profiles and enhance frame rates. With the option turned on, I was getting 20% better frame rates in games like Cyberpunk and Forza Horizons. It also made games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla playable on high settings where before it wasn't. But even then, it doesn't truly beat the other cheaper gaming handhelds. A $650 ROG Ally with its AMD APU can still beat the Claw in my benchmarks on Cyberpunk and Forza. You also need to remember that the Claw is using an Intel chip, meaning it doesn't have access to AMD's AI upscaler, FSR. Intel's own XeSS isn't nearly as widely available, so if the point is to stress visuals without hurting battery life nearly as much, you're still better off with an AMD CPU. There's supposed to be a new 8-inch model of the MSI Claw with Intel's unreleased Lunar Lake chips that might make the $800 price tag worthwhile. There's also a new 7-inch model in the bank, so sorry all those who bought a Claw, you're already close to being outmoded. If you want one of the new upcoming gaming handheld PCs, the best and the most powerful mind you, you'll need to spend somewhere close to $800. That's a lot, I know, but that will be the cost of the ROG Ally X, a sequel to ASUS's original handheld from last year. Or if you're like me, you'll just stick with your somewhat lower priced Steam Deck. It does the job.